When you are an empath, highly sensitive person, especially when you have been a young child, a girl, a teenager, a female, a teenage girl, this is what happened to me. This is part of my story, how I was really neglected and abused in my own home growing up. I did not have a proper father or a proper mother because my mother is apparently a narcissist, and she was always neglecting and controlling me, abusing me in every way possible. And so I became basically an object. That is what I always felt like, that I was an empty shell, of a person, that I was not an actual person. I was not an actual human being even, because I had been so rejected, so abandoned, so neglected. And I've been sharing parts of my life story in my videos. So of course I I encourage you to watch them if they resonate with you. I'm always speaking to my fellow people who are also highly sensitive and empaths and chosen ones and starseeds and earth angels, and they've been abused as children in their own home and in their school. This is usually what happens. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little, that when you have been so neglected and abused, it is basically that you are just targeted, that even though it's not your problem, it's not your issue, you have been an innocent child, but you have been targeted, you have been made this object, you have been treated from this shallow, superficial angle of things, that they did not want to get to know you. Likely they have been even scapegoating you, your entire family. So everyone has been attacking you and blaming you for their issues. And this is very traumatizing for a sensitive child, especially when you are a girl. It's very, very, very traumatizing. Very cruel. But I just think my message is that it's important to recognize this pattern, what happened. It really isn't about you. They have just treated you from this superficial angle. They didn't know anything else to do. They did not know how to raise and support you properly. So they have been coming from that angle of things, because it's the only way that they know. Because narcissistic people are so shallow and superficial. They don't have the depth of an empath. They are not wired like a highly sensitive person is. They don't have empathy. They don't have the sensitivity. So it's an impossible equation. And yes, my heart goes out to you if this resonates, of course, and I'm here to help. So feel free to book a call with me and check out my self-help book if you need help from from a soul sister, because I've also gone through this path. And I had nobody to tell me what to do. I had nobody in my corner to help me and support me. So I had to raise myself, and I've had to support myself throughout my life. So yeah, it's been crazy. It's a lot of pressure and a lot of work, and it's not what a sensitive child should experience. It's not at all acceptable. But this is just a kind reminder that is their world. That is how they act in their own delusional world. That they treat you from this superficial place of thinking, because they lack all of that depth and those tools to be able to raise a child, to take care of a child. They are so immature. They are immature. They are not adults. They are not adults. So it's not anything that is your fault if they have been, you know, like gaslighting you and blaming you for how you look, like putting you down in different ways. This is what happened to me, because apparently it's easy when I didn't even have my own father. So my stepfather was making comments about the way I look and like putting me down in different ways when I was really feeling vulnerable. I was so vulnerable as a child, as a teenager, without the right kinds of support that I would have needed. I would have needed my mother's love and support authentically, but I never got it, and it was just going to get worse with time. And it usually gets worse the older these kind of people get. But yeah, so they will be judging you and, you know, putting you down, and they have no clue that you are a child who should be supported with love and care and taught about healthy boundaries, for example. These kind of people have no idea what it really takes to raise a child, what it takes and what it is about to take really responsibility and accountability of things. Because they don't have those, they don't have that thinking, they don't have that understanding, and likely they will never change and heal. So this is just a sad truth. But as trauma survivors, trauma victims, childhood trauma survivors, we just have to remember our own place, you know, what we are supposed to do in this world, and, you know, to be able to know our own value and worth. That it's not up to them. It's not up to anyone else. It is not up to external factors. It is only up to ourselves to define who we are and what you know, what kinds of lives do we want to create, and what do we really put up with and what we don't. Yes, it is a loss, and it is completely valid to mourn and feel sad and traumatized and exhausted and tired. Those are completely normal feelings when you have been through this kind of treatments, childhood trauma. So yes, so you have to give yourself the space and the time to be able to handle things. And I do recommend that you just listen to yourself and you do it your way, that you're finding the right way for yourself to do this process, because ultimately you can only be healing yourself in the best way.